Hello everybody, just wanted to take a second to talk to you about school and where we are and some of the thoughts behind the decisions that we're making currently as to whether we can go in person or not. As many of you know, Metcalfe County, for the first time since the state has put out the color-coded metrics, the green, the yellow, the orange, and the red, Metcalfe County is in the red. In fact, this morning we're currently listed as 32.6. The line for that is 25, and I want to talk about that number in just a second. Now, I'm going to go into some detail on some things, and this will be a little lengthy. I hope you'll stick with me here. Again, I know opinions are all over the place on this, and I respect that. I'm not giving you this information to try to persuade you in any way, but I do want to be as transparent and as forthcoming as I can be, and I want to try to communicate with you as a community as best I can. When a school goes in red, they're recommended to go fully virtual, and we know that several school districts have already been through this situation. But it is a recommendation, and it is something that we can look at internally, and that's what we try to do, and then we try to make the best decisions that we can based on the numbers that we have. We're trying to stay in touch with our emergency service people. We're trying to stay in touch with our health department, our Healthy at Schools and Safe Schools coordinators, working through a lot of this information as we go. And at this particular time, based on all of those conversations, we feel like we're still very safe in being able to offer the in-person option. Now, we're very fortunate. One of the reasons we're able to offer this still in this circumstance is because we've offered at home, we've offered in person, and a number of you have taken the at-home option. And I know that the at-home option is probably not perfect, but I think it's been viable enough that the vast majority of you and your students have been able to continue with their education in that way. And I appreciate our teachers working so hard to provide both, because really, you talk about wearing a lot of hats and doing a lot of work, it's not easy, and it's not going to be perfect, but our teachers are working extremely hard to make sure that we offer a good service and good education for the kids that are at home and for the kids that are coming in person. So, because we're about 50-50, it gives us an advantage as a district. Basically, we're on a hybrid already, which is what a lot of people are on. You've probably heard other districts doing A, B. We are letting anybody who wants to come in person, come on. But because we're split 50-50, it gives us a bit of an advantage there. Having said that, I want to go back to this number. And one of the things that you try to do is you look at the cases, you look at where they are and who they impact, and you ask yourself, is this going to cause us to not be able to do school? And at this time, we think that our numbers are such that we can still do school. But let's go back to that. So 25 is what makes a county red, and it's county by county. The numbers basically go like this. 0 is green, 1 to 10 is yellow, 10 to 24.9, let's say, is orange. That's where we've been. Most of the time, we've been in that 17, 16 range, and we've been orange. And then 25 and up is red. If you look at a map, and it's on kycovid.ky.gov if you want that information for yourself, not only are we red, but a lot of people around us are red. We're at 32.6. Now, what does that mean? First of all, it's not a percentage. Okay, and I want to make sure that we're clear on that. That does not mean that 32.6% of the county has tested positive for COVID. That's not it. What it does mean is that on a 7-day rolling average, based on the cases turned in, we're averaging 32.6 cases per day in the county based on, and this is key, a 100,000 person population. Now they do that, and there's a reason behind that. They do that because they want to be able to compare us to Fayette or to Jefferson. Now Jefferson County probably has 700,000 people. We have 10,000 people. So go back, our number is 32.6. Okay, and that's just cases per day on a 7-day rolling average. We only have 10,000 people. It's based on 100,000 people. So simply put, if you take that decimal point and you move it to the left, that's the real number for us. And so at 32.6, which is the number you'll see on the site, what that really means is over a 7-day period, we're averaging 3.26 positive cases in the county per day. I don't say that to minimize it. I don't say it to emphasize it, but I just want you to know how that number works and what it means. Now, regardless, we're in the red, and that means we've had a spike. So where we have been at, say, 17, which in fact is 1.7, if you can look at it that way, now we're at 32.6, which means 3.26 cases per day on average. What does that mean? Well, it means we've got to really up our game. And that's what I'm asking you for right now. I try not to ask for a whole lot, and we know that you as a community, you're always gracious and giving to us, and we appreciate it so much. You've been so good and so patient through this whole ordeal, going all the way back to March, and we appreciate it. But what it means is, if we want to continue to have in-person services, if we want to continue to have 21st century, if we want to continue to have extracurricular activities, you know, we had homecoming last week. It was great. We had the band back with us at a home game. It was great. Cheerleaders cheering, sports going on, whatever activities you have. I've had a couple of calls on drama. That's an important program. We're going to try to get it back and up and running. But if we want to do any of those things, whether it's music, whether it's band, whether it's any particular thing, then we've got to really sharpen up here, and we've got to do what we can do to make sure the kids get what they need. What does that mean? That means masking. That means distancing. That means washing hands. That means taking precautions. And I want to say this to you as clearly as I can. And I'm asking you. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm asking you. If we want our kids to get to continue to come in person, the ones that are, and if we want our kids to get to continue to do the things we want them to do, because that's who it's about. It's about the kids, not about me. I already played ball. I was already I already did all that stuff. You probably did too. But our kids, for them to have a chance to do those things, have homecoming, then we've got to do our part. And so we're asking that we really sharpen up here, that we really pay attention, that we really do our best to try to help our kids have the opportunities that they need. Now, I know it's a divisive issue. I know people have opinions. I know people watch different things and read different things. I'm not into any of that. I just care about our kids and our community and Metcalfe County and making sure that we get to give you a choice, parents. If you want your kid to be virtual right now, they're virtual. If you want your kid to be in person, they're in person. If you want your kid to play football, they're playing football. If you want your kid to cheer, they're cheering. That's what we're trying to provide. We want to make sure we get to continue to provide this as best we can. Last thing, we're going to continue to monitor these numbers. If they stay high, and if they stay in the red, and it causes us to sit down and evaluate and say as a group that we can't safely continue to have school, then we'll have to make some tough decisions. I hope it doesn't get to that point, but we're certainly going to look at it on a daily basis, because our number one goal is to make sure that we keep our kids safe, our faculty safe, and our community safe as best as we can. We're going to do safety. We're going to try to provide a great student experience, and we're going to try to make sure that learning is happening at all times. That's our goal every day. I do want to finish by thanking you again. The vast majority of you are working hard for us, working together with us, and we appreciate it very much. We hope you have a good day.